You can buy any cryptocurrency on our exchange. You will earn 100x returns on all your investments. Your money is safe, I can guarantee that. Please bring your friends tomorrow. I have another investment opportunity for you.
The next day.
Bro, I'm gonna make you a millionaire, bro. Hey, where is the office, man? Hey, where did the office go, man? Hey, my money, man. Hey, my money, man.
Netflix is known for making documentaries about serial killers and scammers. Recently, they've been making videos about scams in the business space with We Crashed, the story of the WeWork founder becoming extremely popular. Today, I'm going to tell you a story that took place yesterday and is 10 times more interesting than the We Crashed story. Yesterday's story is a story that will show you no matter what tech you use, no matter how powerful you claim the benefits of crypto or any technology, no matter whether you have a $32 billion valuation, you can always come back down to zero in a matter of days. This is the story of how the crypto exchange FTX went from a valuation of $32 billion to zero in less than a year and the lessons that we can learn from it. Our story starts with Sam Bankman-Fried, who studied in Massachusetts Institute of Technology. In 2014, he graduated with a degree in physics and a minor in mathematics. He started his career in a trading firm, but quit in a few years. In January 2018, he became famous when he made something called an arbitrage trade, making up to $25 million per day to take advantage of the higher price of Bitcoin in Japan compared to in America. Arbitrage trades are where you make money on the margin between prices of a good in different economies or in different exchange. In April 2019, he launched his own exchange, FTX, the central business in this story. In 2019, another exchange, Binance, very well known, invested into FTX, and Changpeng Zhao, known as CZ, the CEO of Binance, claimed that this would be a fruitful partnership between the two. Little did Sam know how badly this move of taking an investment from a competitor would cost him one day. Now, in the traditional world, you invest in a company and you get some shares in return. In the crypto world, you get tokens, and a market for trading those tokens exists on day one. And this is lesson number 1 of this video. In the traditional world, the shares in a private company are illiquid. You can't sell it just like that. There's no platform to do it. You have to go out and you have to find a buyer. Only once the company in a traditional world goes IPO and goes public can you sell the shares in an open market and put up trade orders. In the crypto world, this concept of private companies do not usually exist. You are public from day one, you give out tokens or allow people to purchase the tokens on day one, and people can freely trade it with each other. In the beginning, people thought this was a good thing about crypto, instant liquidity, but it turns out it is a bad thing because in the real world, you can't go public as a business until you are ready and have shown financial stability. There is regulation to prevent companies from lying about their numbers. But crypto is no man's land. Anything can happen, and usually when you are a private company, you are figuring things out. Every time you have a crisis, which is common in early stage companies, there is a big chance in crypto of people hearing bad rumors and crashing your token and your business, which is what happened to FTX. In 2021, FTX raised $900 million at an $18 billion valuation from investors like Sequoia Capital. All of the best investors in the world invested in this company. Tiger, SoftBank, you name it. Now, Sequoia has a memo about FTX, and when I saw a tweet about this memo, I could not stop laughing. Sam, the founder of FTX, had told them on a Zoom meeting that I want FTX to be a place where you can do whatever you want. You can even buy a banana. Now, Sequoia's reaction to these was documented on that article, and it is really funny to read in hindsight. I love this founder, pinged one partner. I am a 10 on 10, exclaimed another. Yes, said the third. It turns out that this guy was actually playing a game called League of Legends while the Zoom meeting was going on, something that I can't blame him for because I also sometimes do that, especially if the meeting is boring, but never for an important meeting where I'm raising hundreds of millions of dollars.
You know, this founder is like the crypto god. I believe he's gonna be the world's first trillionaire.
Oh wow! I can't wait to meet this guy.
So tell me, what does your company do exactly?
Yeah. You can buy bananas on that platform using make-believe money.
Oh my god! I absolutely love this founder. You know what? I'm gonna invest $40 million in your company.
Hey, I'm not gonna let you steal my thunder as well. I'm a 10 on 10 on this guy. I'm investing $10 million right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now with this capital and within a year, FTX became Binance's rival exchange. When Binance invested, they did not believe that FTX would become this big this quickly. Now the competition was heating up. Well, with more and more fame, Sam became the godfather of crypto. He started saving crypto companies that were going through problems to save the space. You see, crypto was going through customer sentiment being hurt by lots of scams, lots of shutdowns, and lots of customer money was lost when an exchange shut down. So Sam would come in and save them. For example, he bought 7.6% of the exchange Robinhood. He gave credit facilities to lenders like Voyager Digital and BlockFi who were both struggling. He started sponsoring F1 teams. He even entered politics. He was the second largest individual contributor to Joe Biden in the 2020 election cycle, personally donating $5.2 million, second only to Michael Bloomberg. He even offered Elon Musk $5 billion to buy out Twitter. He also claimed that he's going to give away a big chunk of his own $15 billion net worth to charity. Remember, his company was less than 3 years old, and when a company goes from zero to $32 billion in 3 years, a red alert should be sounded when the founder starts doing these things. This is lesson number 2. When you raise funding, and I've raised millions in funding as an entrepreneur myself, the first year or two gets to your head. Especially when you haven't seen a recession, you feel like you are playing in God mode. Trust me, I've been there. You start making donations, you start making investments, you start bailing out people you have no business of bailing out, and basically act like a hero. All that changes when a storm comes. And after the first storm, everybody remembers that storm forever. That storm for Sam was Changpeng Zhao. That's right, CZ from Binance. The signs of a problem were starting to appear for a while though. For example, one of the CEOs of Sam's other company, Alameda Research, quit, which raised some concerns. A month later, the FTX president also stepped down. Securities regulators were probing the company to see if they actually had the reserves they claimed to have. This was when his company Alameda's balance sheet was leaked. It showed that the net equity in the Alameda business is actually FTX's own controlled and printed out of the thin air token called FTT. Instead of having cash balance on the sheets, he was showing his own token and saying, hey, this is worth X amount of money. The thing is that if you have cash, you can just spend it. But if you have tokens, selling a large amount of those tokens to convert it into cash reduces the value of the token. If you are on the market, for example, and you see someone rapidly selling large amounts of the FTT token, wouldn't you also start panic selling, right? And this is the problem with showing your own tokens as cash, which is that it doesn't convert easily to cash because the market A will not have the liquidity and will B start panic selling if you also start selling. This is when someone asked, well, if Alameda doesn't have cash, does FTX, does Sam's main company have cash? Or is he also showing some random tokens? This brings me to lesson number 3. If you make up an asset, don't use that asset to borrow or lend or buy or show on your balance sheet. Use cash, especially in a crypto business where the regulators are breathing down your neck. On November 2022, Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao put up a tweet on Twitter saying that his firm Binance intended to sell off its holdings of FTT, which is FTX's token. He also claimed that FTX was lobbying behind their backs and didn't want to continue holding FTT, but he said he was more concerned that FTX didn't really have the cash if everyone their exchange wanted to withdraw at the same time. An exchange is always supposed to have enough cash on hand to process all the withdrawals. If everyone decides to withdraw, you need to have enough money to give them their money back. As soon as CZ put up this tweet, he moved all his FTT out. Then the market started panic selling. And Sam, in damage control mode, went out and put up a tweet saying, "Don't worry, things are fine, assets are fine." But things were not fine.
Guys, everything is completely under control. Especially the assets, they're completely fine. Okay, I gotta hang up right now. Okay.
CZ has 7 million followers, and his tweet literally caused the entire market to panic. They started selling, crashed FTT, and immediately people started withdrawing their money from FTX, which immediately made FTX insolvent. Basically, they couldn't process withdrawals anymore because they didn't have enough cash if someone gave them tokens. This is called liquidity. You have enough cash on hands, not tokens, not anything else. You have enough cash if people start withdrawing their money from the exchange, and FTX did not have this cash. This is lesson number 4. Any exchange, be it Zerodha, be it from banks, be it crypto, all exchanges always need enough cash to cover user holdings. If a user decides to hold a token and then decides to sell it, you must always have enough cash to pay that user. If you don't have enough cash to pay all the users, you become insolvent. If all your users start selling out at the same time, you need to have enough money. This is what regulators do. They keep checking if exchanges are solvent enough to cover transactions because this has been hard to do with crypto. The very next day, CZ put up a tweet and said the following: "This afternoon, FTX asked for our help. There is a significant liquidity crunch. To protect users, we are signing a non-binding LOI intending to fully acquire FTX to cover the liquidity crunch." Sam had begged to CZ because he didn't have enough money to cover transactions. He had also deleted his tweets from before saying that assets are fine. After checking the books, CZ and Binance realized that FTX's condition is hopeless and they decided not to buy the company and walked away from it, causing ripples across the crypto world. See, FTX might not have gone into a liquidity crunch if people all hadn't sold at the same time. But they did that because CZ put up that tweet. They went into panic mode and Sam didn't have enough cash to make up.
Finally, I put out all of the fires.
This is my final lesson. We think that in decentralization, the concept of crypto, of decentralization, people are making independent decisions and that everyone has the power. But the truth is that the power is with mega influencers like CZ and Elon Musk. Now, if CZ was just a competitor, it would be fine. But because they were investors in the FTT token, the audience believed whatever CZ said. They said, "Hey, you're an investor, you're selling your stake, which means you know something is wrong." Information and influence run the current world. No matter whether you use crypto or any new technology, we are in the era of information warfare, and distribution and information is king.